So we're going to start in seated. So find your nice comfortable base, nice straight spine, crown of the head lifting up towards the sky, chin slightly tucked. Either taking a relaxed downward gaze or closing your eyes, whatever works for you. And allowing your attention just to rest on the natural rhythm of your breath. So noticing the coming and going, the inhale and the exhale, the in and the out. And just take a quick scan of your body and notice if there's any tension anywhere. So notice if you're holding in your shoulders. Notice if you're holding in your face or your neck. And each time your mind wanders, bring it back to your breath. And then bringing your attention back into your room, into your physical body. And then when it feels right, reach your hands up overhead and really stretch right the way through the tips of your fingers. So you're really reaching right the way up as high as you can, really feeling the stretch through both sides of your body. And then exhale and just let your arms drop. And take some rotations with your shoulders. And the other way. And allow that to relax. Bring your chin to your chest. So feeling the stretch down the back of your neck. Breathing into the stretch. Just trying to really relax, really let go of the back of your neck, of any holding on. And then on an inhale, gently bring the head back up to center. Bring your legs out in front and give them a bit of a shake out. And then rotate your ankles. Doesn't matter which direction, doesn't matter if they both go the same direction or different directions. And then the other way. And then relax. Bring one hand under one leg, doesn't matter which leg you go for. Support underneath your thigh, and then bend and straighten the leg a few times. This is quite good for starting to work, starting to warm up hamstrings. And then rotate your lower leg. And the other way. Lovely. Pop the leg on the floor, swap sides. You're supporting under the thigh, and then bend and straighten a few times. So obviously the angle of your leg will dictate how much of a stretch you get here through your hamstrings. So the higher you hold it up, the more of a hamstring stretch you'll get. And then rotate the lower leg. And the other way. Lovely. Pop the leg back down on the earth. Bring your legs to a wide leg, so like a straddle position. Again, work with what's comfortable for you. What's comfortable for you is unlikely to be as wide as my legs are. I've got super long hamstrings. I'm going to inhale, reach hands up overhead, and then exhale, fold forward. So if you can hinge from your hips, bringing your hands down to the earth first, and then walk your hands very gently forwards. Any lower back stories here, then bend your knees, try and take the pressure out of your lower back. So working with where your body is and breathing into the stretch. And then inhale, walk your hands back up to center. Bend your right leg, then bring your left leg out in front of you. So you've got your left leg out straight, your right leg is bent, and your foot is pressing against your right thigh. And then again, we're going to inhale and reach both hands up overhead. And then exhale, fold forward. So again, hinge from your hips, not from your waist. So you're trying to keep a nice straight spine here. If you can, hold on to your foot. Otherwise, allow your hands to rest on your shin. And then just breathing into the stretch. So seeing if you can find a little bit more space with every single exhale. Often when it's hot as well, we do find more space because our muscles are that much warmer. And then inhale and find your way back up to seated. Turn and then look, so your hips are kind of over the midline, so you're looking over your bent knee. And then you're going to walk your hands forwards, and again you're going to come to a forward fold. This time you should be facing slightly off sideways. And again, breathing into the stretch. Any lower back stories, then bend the straight leg. It will take the pressure out of your back. And then inhale and walk your hands back up to center. So bring the right leg out in front and swap sides. So you bend your left leg, planting the left foot against the right thigh. Nice and straight through your spine. As you inhale, reach up. And then exhale, fold forwards. So again, bringing your hands either to your shin, or if you can, bringing your hand to your foot, whichever works for your body. And then breathing into the stretch. So again, any lower back stories, bend your knee. Don't take this into your lower back. Nice, even breath. This is called Janu Shirshasana, or head to knee pose. And then inhale, walk yourself back up to seated. Come and turn, so you're looking over the midline. And then again, exhale and walk the hands gently forward. So you should be facing sideways along your mat as you come forwards. And then inhale, find your way back up to seated. And we're going to come over to all fours. So your hands are planted below your shoulders. Knees are below your hips. Hands should be shoulder width apart. Knees should be hip width apart. And we're just going to start here just by taking some rotations with the pelvis. So you're kind of circling your hips around. And then changing directions. Bringing that back to neutral. And come into some cat stretches. So as you inhale, you're dropping the belly and you're looking up. And then as you exhale, you're arching the back and you're looking down. So inhaling up and exhaling down. So try and keep this movement nice and slow, nice and controlled. Work gently with your breath. And then bringing your spine on your next exhale back to neutral. So we're going to take the right foot, bring the right foot out behind, place the toes on the floor, and then push the heel away from you. So this may give you a stretch down the back of your hamstrings. It all depends on your body and how tight your hamstrings are. You might feel it in the calf muscle, you might feel it higher up. The trick is to really push your toes into the earth and then push your heel away as hard as you can if you're not getting much of a stretch here. On an exhale, bring the knee back to the earth. And then inhale to swap sides. So left leg comes out behind, plant the toes on the earth, and then really push the left heel away from you. Pushing into your hands can be helpful as well. Try and make sure that you keep your shoulder blades down your back throughout. And then on an inhale, bring your left knee back down to the earth. Tuck your toes underneath, and on an inhale, push into your hands, push into your feet, lift your tailbone and come up to downward dog. And then walk the dog, so you're pushing your heels away one at a time, gently stretching the backs of your legs and your hamstrings. And then start to bring your heels to neutral, pushing your heels down towards the earth. Try and keep your shoulder blades down your back, nice long neck. And then inhale, come over to plank pose. So you're dropping your pelvis, pushing the floor away with your hands, nice and straight through your spine. You can drop your knees if you need to. And then exhale, lower all the way down to the earth. Tuck your tailbone, push your pubic bone into the earth. Keep your shoulder blades down your back. Leave your hands firmly planted beside your chest. And inhale, push into your hands, come up to cobra. And then exhale from cobra, sit your buttocks back on your heels, leave your hands out in front and come and rest for a few breaths in child's pose. And then inhale from child's pose, come back to all fours. And then from all fours, tuck toes and come back to downward dog. This time really pushing your heels down towards the earth. So obviously you can bend your knees if you need to. Inhale, lift your left leg up behind. So some of you might stay there. Some of you might choose to bend the left knee, dropping the left foot over towards the right hand side. Some of you might stay there. And some of you might want to take it a little bit further and come and look underneath your left arm. Exhale from wherever you are and bring the left foot back down to the earth. And then we're going to inhale, lift the right leg up behind. So again, some of you might stay there. Some of you might bend the right knee, dropping the right foot over towards the left-hand side. Some of you might stay there. Or some of you might want to take it a little bit further and come and look underneath the left arm. The right arm even, sorry. Keep pushing the heel of the standing leg down into the earth. Inhale and drop the foot back to the earth. Come back over to your plank pose. So you might need to walk your feet away as you come back to plank. Drop knees if you need to in plank. And then exhale and lower yourself all the way down to the earth. Tuck your tailbone, push your pubic bone into the earth. Keep your hands firmly planted, shoulder blades down your back. Inhale, come up to cobra. And then exhale from there and push all the way back to child's pose. Inhale, come back to all fours, and then come and sit back down on your mat. Bringing your legs out in front of you, toes pointing up towards the sky. We're going to inhale, wide stretch, reach up. Exhale, twist to the right hand side, bringing the left hand to the outside of the right thigh. Right hand comes behind, looking over the right shoulder. Try not to rely on putting any weight in the right hand. And then inhale, come back to center, bringing both hands up overhead. And exhale, twist towards the left hand side. Right hand coming to the outside of the left thigh. Keep your toes pointing up to the sky. Fairly strong here through your legs. Nice and straight through the sides of your body, lifting the crown of your head to the sky. And then inhale, come back to center, bringing both hands up overhead. And exhale, fold forwards. So again, hands can rest on your thighs, on your shins, or if it's accessible to you, see if you can take your first two fingers around your big toes and then fold forwards from there. As always, folding from the hips, not from the waist. Nice straight spine, so don't compromise by curving the spine. Try and keep the spine nice and straight. And then inhale and find your way back up to seated. Bend your knees, place your feet flat on the earth, a little bit wider than hip width apart. See if you can bring your hands to the inside of your legs and see if you can take your first 2 fingers around your big toes. This is going to be a little bit of a balancing challenge. We'll see who can do this. And then all you're going to do is just going to rock slightly back onto your buttocks and lift your feet up off the floor. And if that feels good, you can start to straighten your legs. So again, this is another challenge for the hamstrings. Also a big challenge for the core muscles. So obviously be really aware of what's behind you. Try not to roll backwards. If you're not feeling confident, then keep a nice big bend with your knees. And exhale. Bring everything back down to the mat. Bring the soles of your feet together and just allow your knees to drop out to the sides. You can hold around your toes if you want to. Try and keep a nice straight spine, shoulder blades down your back. Baddha Konasana. So you're trying to pull your knees down towards the earth. It's quite common to be right up here as well, so don't worry if you are. Okay, so release the feet and we're going to find our way back down to lay flat on our backs. Keeping your feet down on the earth, hands to a T shape if you have room for a T shape. Feet are about hip width apart. And then you're going to drop the knees down to one side, doesn't matter which side. And we're just going to stay there for a few breaths. If you want to turn your head to face in the opposite direction, then you absolutely can do. Trying to keep both shoulders on the earth. And then just try and release and really let go. Allow the earth to hold and support you here. And then inhale, bring both knees back to center. Head comes back to center, and exhale, drop your knees to the other side. And again, if you want to, you can turn your head to face in the opposite direction. Again, try to keep both shoulders on the earth. Letting go of any holding on here, allowing the earth to support you. And then bringing the head back to center, bring the knees back to center. And then bring the legs out in front, allowing the feet to drop out to the sides. Hands come down by your sides, palms facing up towards the sky. Make sure you roll your shoulder blades down your back. And settle yourself into Shavasana. It's a nice, even, gentle breath. You can let go of the breath. You can let go of all concentration. There is nothing more to be done. Just allow your body to rest and to absorb the benefits of today's practice. Feeling heavy, feeling relaxed. Your whole body completely relaxed. Your whole body completely relax. Your whole body completely relax. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. And then being aware of what's around you, bring your hands up overhead and allow yourself a nice fingertip to toe tip stretch. You're really stretching through the ends of your fingers, the ends of your toes. And then finding your way very gently to your right hand side or your left hand side, it really doesn't matter. And then in your own time, and there's no rush, find your way to seated. Okay, bringing hands up overhead in the Prana Mudra. Hands come together overhead to the crown of your head, to your third eye for wisdom and clarity of thought, to your lips and then your throat for peace and love in all that we say, and to your heart space to love unconditionally. So thank you to you all for sharing today's practice. Namaste.